Is there a hole in your business bucket? Is that just a children's song to you? Is there a hole in your bucket? Or is it something that you can relate to when it comes to your business, when we use it as an analogy for the simple fact that maybe you might be losing customers, or maybe you might be losing team members, and you're feeling that your business bucket is kind of leaky? Then stay tuned, because I've got a very simple strategy, something that's really important, that sometimes we tend to forget when we start building our business out here on social media, or even when we have been around for a while. We tend to forget this one step, this one strategy that's really, really huge. And that's what I'll be discussing today. So hello and welcome. I'm excited you're here. In case we've met before, my name is Katrin from bloomwithkatrin.com, and I'm coming live to you from the beautiful Bavarian forest over here in Germany. Now, please don't be shy, whether you're joining me live or later on the replay. Drop me down below where you're tuning in from, so I can circle back around and say hi to you. I'm looking forward to that, because I'm here to help you take your business online in a way that's going to be sustainably successful. There's no chasing people, there's no annoying copy-paste messages, but actually learning to turn this game, the rules of this game around, and learning to attract your perfect tribe to you, okay? And all that being done without feeling icky and salesy and overwhelmed all the time, but it's actually going to feel good from the inside out, okay? So, and I don't know about you, but having a few customers, and it doesn't really matter how many customers you have. So speaking like of how huge is your business bucket, doesn't really matter, because we all know that, you know, if there's a little leak in your bucket, right, what's going to happen if there's water inside, right? It's going to leak out. And at some point, if you don't, you know, like refill it with new water, with fresh water all the time, you're going to end up with an empty bucket, right? So if we're going to use that analogy for our business when it comes to our customers, okay, how might we go about this? So maybe your initial thought might be, okay, well, just fix the bucket, right? Just repair it and all's fine. Here's the thing where that analogy isn't really, I would say, like putting in placeable when it comes to your business. I'm not sure whether that's an English term. You'll forgive me. English is my second language, but I hope you know what I mean, right? Can you make sure, is there anything in the world you truly can do to ensure that you'll never ever lose one single customer or one single teammate? Now, I don't know about you, but even if you have the best possible customer service, and by all means, wow your people, okay? Be that person that goes the extra mile, that's different, that really thinks about, okay, how might I serve my people today? How might I help them solve their real problems, right? Absolutely, go for it. But thing with life is life can happen, okay? So even if somebody enrolls with you today and you feel that your best buddies and they're really part of your tribe and they love you and they're endeared to you and they want to stay your customer or your teammate forever, for all their life, life might still happen. Would you agree, right? Some sort of financial challenge might arise, or different kinds of challenges, right? And for whatever reason, they might have to make a decision against what it is that you do or that you have to offer. So let's just be clear when it comes to our mindset to that, okay? So we don't take it personally when somebody, you know, has to decide to stop their authorship. It isn't personal, is it? So why do we take it personal? And let me know whether you can relate, because this has definitely been me in the past. We're like, well, how come they're stopping their authorship now? They were so enthusiastic, so excited about all the things in the beginning, right? So let's have that set expectation in ourselves and also in our team members. Duplicate that posture of this isn't personal, this is business, and it's okay if somebody has to make a different decision now. But what does that do to my business though, right? Depending on how large your bucket is and how many customers are in there, so to speak, figuratively speaking, of course, right? It may or may not matter to you if you lose a few along the way. But if you all you do is your great customer service, meaning trying to repair the bucket, you're in maintenance mode, right? And maintenance is important, but it's not growth. Can we agree on that? Maintenance is huge, customer service is huge, but it's not growing your business necessarily. Yes, you might get a referral here or there, and that's very, very helpful, of course, but it's not a strategy to rely on when it comes to wanting to grow your business, especially in the online space. Would you agree? So what might we do? How can we fix it? It's basically one very simple activity that sometimes we tend to forget about. We might, maybe your upline is teaching you to do that, and maybe so you do it for a while, and then you don't really feel that you have a good enough strategy. It feels kind of icky all the same, or you don't see the results right away. So we tend to kind of forget about it, right? And we're very busy putting out awesome content, which is important, and stories and posts and live videos and all that good stuff. But if we forget that one activity, we might as well not be on social media. Okay, so this is how huge this activity is. Now, if you have an idea of what it might be, put it down below. I'd be curious to see your ideas before I give it to you, obviously. But here's the thing. You want to solve the number one problem of everybody in networking, and that's, who do I talk to today? Would you agree? Right? Have you ever been along your journey in a situation where you caught yourself thinking, well, everybody knows what I do. I've talked to everybody. I've got nobody left to talk to. I know I can definitely relate. That was definitely me. And it's not necessarily the truth, okay? If we can be real honest here with each other, right? Because truly, if you have a few thousand people on your Facebook profile as friends, have you really, really spoken to everybody? So that's just one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is, are they your perfect prospects? Will they appreciate your content? Do they appreciate your content? Meaning, do they engage with it? Or do you post and hope and you don't get any engagement? Then that might be something to consider, okay? So the very basic activity really is grow your audience on a daily basis. Now, there's two strategies that you can do for that. One is on your personal profile. One is on what's called a business page on Facebook. So if you're watching me, this is me doing a live video on my business page, Bloom with Katrin, right? So on a business page, you can leverage the power of social media, meaning you give money, right? You do a Facebook ad, for example, if you're on Facebook, right? This applies to different platforms as well, of course. You're going to do an ad, and the platform is going to find you your perfect prospects. You're going to have to invest a certain amount of money to have an ad budget, and you want to have some skills before you dive into that, because it's very easy to spend a lot of money with near to zero results. So I don't want that for you. If that's a strategy that you want to know more about, please reach out to me. I'm happy to show you how I do it and how I got started. Okay, but here's the strategy number 2. And often you may hear people say it's free. I dare to disagree. It's not free. It is organic, meaning you're going to do it manually, okay? But it's not free. It does cost your time investment, okay? And so I don't know about you, but I always think, well, money is something I can make back. So it might be a good idea, to leverage the power of social media with an ad to do some of the heavy lifting for me. I'll still have conversations, right? But with the right kind of people who want to know more. So that's what you can do with an ad. When you go about it the organic way, it's going to be an investment of your time. And I want to help you today. And I also put together a PDF that's going to help you be really effective on growing your audience every single day in 10 minutes. Okay. If you want to take a peek at that, it is free, okay, that PDF. Drop the word PDF down below and I'm happy to reach out to you and send that over to you, okay? But here's the thing. So how do I go about growing my audience, right? Getting new eyeballs on my content, on myself, on the things that I have to offer every single day without paying the platform money to show it to people? Well, you can go, there's 2 strategies that I'm going to give to you. There's more in the PDF, okay? So number 1 strategy might be, think about your perfect prospects, people whose problems you can help and want to help solve. Where do they hang out on social media? Maybe a guru comes to mind, a person of influence, people follow, people enjoy whatever it is that they put out there. So you might choose to go ahead and go to their business page because they normally have one, right? Because they do the ad thing usually. So you can go to that page and be a very active follower on that page, meaning you're going to engage, you're going to leave meaningful comments, maybe even interact with people who also interact because they're active on social media. That's the kind of prospect you want if you want to build your business online, right? So does that make sense so far? Is it helpful? Drop it down below, and if you've got questions as well. Okay, and I go into more detail on that as well in the PDF, of course, right? And the other strategy that might be even more powerful is go into groups that make sense, meaning there's your right kind of perfect prospect in there. And there's a few things to consider when it comes to what kinds of groups actually make sense, are worth your while and your time investment. Okay, and I compiled all of those in my PDF as well for you to check out, right? So you know, is this a group that's going to be worth my time to invest myself in, being consistently active in there, being engaging, being a valuable group member, also maybe creating content if that's allowed in the group, of course, right? So you can start building know, like, and trust with people inside that group. And that can be a very, very powerful thing to do, because very often people who are a bit shy on social media, they are a bit more outgoing, a bit more active in a group setting than say on a public business page, right? Let me know whether you've experienced that already, because I know I've seen that. I see it every single day with people, okay? So you can start building the relationship there. You can go check out their profile and send them a friend request if that's something that you would want to do. Or you can be such a valuable member or a valuable follower on somebody's business page when it comes to your comments and what kinds of comments you leave. Or if you're in a group, a so valuable group member that your people who resonate with you and the kinds of posts you do and the kinds of comments you leave, they're going to resonate with you and go ahead and check you out. And where do they go? To your personal profile, okay? So you want to be consistently active there as well. You want to stay in your lane when it comes to topic as well, so you don't confuse people by talking about, I don't know, social media tips in a group, and then on your profile, all I see is cooking recipes, for example. That would be kind of a disconnect, right? If that makes sense, do let me know. So that's something to consider, to be consistently present and valuable in the group as well as on your profile. So the right kind of people are going to go, oh, I really like what she's posting there. I really like that she's here consistently as well. She's a really nice person. Let me go check her out. So they're going to kind of like snoop on you a little bit. And if they like what they see, which is if you stay, when it comes to content, in your lane, meaning you stay on topic, it's got a very high likelihood that people are going to start sending you a friend request. Okay, so that's my strategy that I'm putting into practice, that we also teach on our team, that's really, really helping people eliminate that fear, often subconscious, that fear of, well, what if I lose my customers? Or what if my team members, there's something happening in their life and all of a sudden they're kind of like MIA, right? So you don't have to think about, okay, how do I fix my bucket, okay? So nobody leaks out, but rather be okay with that. Be a friend to your people, whether they are an active customer and an active teammate or not. Always care about the people first, because that's what's going to build a sustainably successful business, at least in my experience. And be sure to have a strategy to continually pour fresh water, if you wish, meaning fresh eyeballs, to your content, into your business bucket, so you have a great strategy to grow a sustainably successful business. So I hope this was valuable. Again, if you want to take a look at that PDF that I put together for you, it's a few pages only, good read, very concise, so what's a good group to go into depending on your niche, obviously, what to look out for in the group, also how to find your perfect prospects the fastest possible way. And here's a major tip. Nearly forgot that one, but it's huge. When you go about and you start setting, maybe some time aside in your calendar, which I strongly recommend, to now I'm growing my audience, please set yourself a timer, okay? Because it's easy to get lost on social media. Would you agree? So there's tips like that as well, quite a number of them in the PDF. So you don't lose your mind, but you actually make a strategic and effective use of your time investment when it comes to growing your audience here on social. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm